It's always a cool feature in games when they let you create a character from the most baddest individual your brain can think of to, oh look, I can cosplay as my favorite character from another franchise. The character creator lets players realize their dreams. To play a Squidward in Elden Ring. Yeah, there's just something to this when the whole idea of the game is to immerse the player. No, you aren't getting a horny detective main character.
Hips. Are you seeing this?
Or a silent one that doesn't say a word so the player can insert themselves into that life. Bro, my life sucks compared to his. How can I self-insert? So in comes the character creator where you can express yourself, see how this character will interact in the world. Only your game will have that character. Or you just copied someone's design online because their one looks cool. As they have no life and spent hours perfecting all the sliders to make the characters look so real that the government will give them money instead of you. Is that where my welfare checks went? And I love it because I get to create my channel mascot in video games. Although that's not always the easiest thing to do. I mean, you got the very pig skin, the very blue hair, a giant ponytail, horns. It's a lot of features to make a game try and spit out. But man, when that game you find gives you the freedom to use all these options to make the character that you like, because you're going to be staring at them for 20 hours or so, you might as well feel happy seeing them. Yeah, I don't know man, you can spend hours customizing your goddamn sweaty balls on the model, but what's the point when you have to play the game in first person? I mean, sometimes games are asking for this feature because, oh man, did I not enjoy being stuck for 60 hours with this dude who put a mop on his head. So yes, when I see a character creator in-game, I'm gonna take my time to make sure everything looks good or as accurate to the reference as possible. And this might be shocking to some people because I know actual physical people who live in the made-up continent called Europe. That there are people who will see this and go, oh no, not for me. I'm having the complimentary bread today. And will pick the default templates just to get into the game quicker. And to them I say, hey, happy birthday. Because I understand, yeah, these menus can be confusing. Oh, what's that? I gotta pick the voice for my character? And to them, I must look like an insane person as I spent 2 hours creating my characters. Yes, look at that recording, it's still going. I'm playing God here, close the door, mum. Like take, for example, Baldur's Gate 3, where you literally just self-insert your character into the game's world, where you can play as a sassy goth girl. I ain't judging. Okay, but like seriously, who was picking Lizelle over Shadowheart, Astarion, Karlach, Will, even mother flippin' Gale, the Hungry Boy? But they give you so many races to play as, then sub-races, which even add more visual distinctions, then the customizing each part from things like skin color, tattoos, and makeup, and horns. Yes, as someone whose character has horns, it made me so happy that a game lets you add them, to be a little devious. However, what I found is that the hairstyles in these character creators always seem to be random with what they allow. Like my character, Ramona, has a huge long ponytail with bangs, yet the long ponytail in Baldur's Gate doesn't have any bangs, yet the short ponytail does. Why? I mean, it would be nice to mix and match, but it also would be hard to implement, and the devs have to account for every wacky hairstyle there is out there. Also, thank you so much to the people who have drawn Ramona fan art over the years. Really do appreciate that this idiot's design a lot of people seem to like. Someday that plushie will be funded! But that's not to say it's a bad character creator when it's robust enough to allow people to create their favorites from other series. I think it's a testament to how people love creating here when the most requested feature was to patch in a way to change your character's appearance mid-game. Because, hey, come on, my horns aren't big enough, I made a mistake! And Shadowheart ain't happy with no baby tiny calcium-made appendages. Well, how about Xenoblade Chronicles X, the open-world mech game on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch in 2025? Well, it surprisingly also had a really in-depth character creator, which is more shocking when you realize this game was on the bloody Wii U. Yes, that's what your character's gonna look like, but you can still spend so much time creating a character here. And yes, you could completely customize the color of the hair tip, even the eyes make them truly anime, with some makeup and face paint. It was so cool with how much they let you change, even when it was compressed to 360p. And it honestly was my favorite recreation of Ramona in a game, that is, until I played Code Vein. Man, this game is fascinating in that you have an obvious Dark Souls clone that appeals to the anime crowd with cutscenes, voice acting, and so much edge. But man, this character creator has to be my favorite ever. Oh sure, you can have more realistic ones like Black Desert Online, the Korean MMO that I really wanted to try out, and even bought the game because oh my god, the characters you can make legit look like those ones you see in ads that try to make you download malware when you're desperate on a Friday night. Until you realize, installing the game puts something deep in your computer computer that you can never delete. But with Code Vein, now while the skin color doesn't let you go full fantasy, but they do have an insane amount of anime eyes. Bro, how could you even see through these peepers? And you can even change the color, position, how much Alabama you want in the jeans, even add some heterochromia to your OC to make them truly belong on DeviantArt. But then you get to this tab, accessories. Yes, you can add accessories to the characters, and now people would think that's just it's a little bit cool. Ooh, she got a big hat. That's so quirky. Oh, let's just see what the internet has made with the accessory feed.
Oh my goodness!
My god, when this game released, the amount of cool characters I saw so accurate to the source material, all because they let you add some accessories. I knew this was a powerful thing when Tales of Berseria let you do this to any part of the character with the accessories, but here, making your own creation, the internet exploded with people creating their favorites, and why I loved it because, well, the default had no horns, also the ponytail wasn't as big as I wanted. Whoa, hey, add some hair volume and these balls sort of look like horns, and this is easily the best rendition of Ramona I have ever made in a game, and this will always be the peak standard in character creators for me. Honestly, if games are having a hard time thinking of all the hairstyles, you can just add an accessory tab to fix so much of that, because the player can just add the missing stuff themselves. Although I'm not sure how a game would run like that when you stick 5 big hats on them. Whoa, I'm quite quirky. Then on the opposite side of the spectrum you have Pokemon. And yeah, okay, we never expected them to add it. I was just fine running around as Pixel McGee here for a while, but with the 3DS, the new graphics power, it added way more options like... Whoa! They added... brown! Yeah, they were not so great. It was like they were scared to add any creativity in a game all about catching creatures. Maybe because they were rushed as usual. Eventually they added more features in future games, and it's fine. It's okay. It's like the McDonald's of character creators. You love it on launch day, but after a few hours in your gut, you regret your decision making. But I think this feature suits open world games more like Elden Ring, where despite you probably not going to see your character given you want to wear some armor, they let you physically edit the proportions of the model, which led to some truly horrific creations. But how does that affect the hitbox? To Monster Hunter World, where it's nice to know that in a game where characters are swinging big ass hammers, in a world killing big ass dinosaurs, they give the characters some big muscles to match. But do not check the mods for this game. Oh god, what the heck?
I was only in there to get directions on how to get away from there.
Now, I haven't played it, but I heard Fallout 4 had a great character creator, but also that you can add stats to them. Yeah, games like this and Baldur's Gate, you need these stats to interact with the world, and you get some leeway in picking this for your character. Obviously, they can't let you max out everything, but you can say pick some more strength at the cost of dropping things more easily. Then you have GTA Online, which has the most unique system in that you pick your heritage to make the kid's character. Yeah, you really gotta pick how your parents look like. I don't think that's how genetics works. But then again, I was the one who dropped out of biology in high school, so what do I know? But then chemistry. In fact, physics I also... By the way, it's really cool in games that you pick the voices for characters, because it finally makes you confront that thought, oh god, I created an OC and I don't know what they sound like. But it also means the game had to hire multiple voice actors just for this role, where the player can go, nah, I don't like their voice. I want this one.
Let's go.
Now, another aspect of character creators is online, where in games you gotta show them off to other people. And there are some fashionable people out there and you wanna look your best. Oh god, what now? Or you have Soul Calibur, where apart from being the series where you have guest characters from, say, Link to Yoda, you have another crazy character creator, where people just get so creative with it, and it adds in the aspect that you're fighting other people online with this monstrosity, so you're already winning that psychological war. That is an online fighting game. But MMO games really love this, because if you're gonna sink 100 hours into their economy, you might as well look fashionable. And it's always so funny when you have some character who looks like a Chad, here to save the world from all the evil, while your clown ass walks up with a red nose at all.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
And yeah, I enjoyed creating Ramona in Final Fantasy XIV. See, when you don't have horn options, you gotta improvise. Also, no pink skin option too. Man, for a game called Final Fantasy, it's sure missing a lot of fantasy, but she looks so good. Here's her looking determined. Here's her imitating a popular anime series.
Oh my god!
And here is her after realizing you gotta spend a monthly allowance to play a game where you can get anxiety because you're a tank and people get angry in co-op dungeons when you don't do your job, so you quit the game in shame. But how about that Sims 4? Wait, what's wrong with Sims 4? Oh yeah, them. But yeah, Sims has always been one of the pinnacle in character creators. From the 90s when you created a fake family and to set the house on fire to claim insurance. I guess now it's a more rounded art style, but I don't know, it still feels a bit lifeless. But then in comes Nintendo with Miitopia, which lets you create characters based on the Miis, which despite the chunky look actually was pretty decent with the customization, but the greatest feature was that you could share these designs so other people who didn't have the time or brain power could just download the designs to put into their game. Or how about the wrestling games, where it's a far cry from the PS2 days, where in my teenage years I tried creating a character with the biggest muscles, where now you have characters like this with their own intros and signature moves. Gaming has truly peaked. And that is why I love character creators in games and why I spend so much goddamn time in them. It truly lets you be creative with the best games, letting your imagination run wild and furthering an experience in the game, making it more personal to you. Or you know, just letting you have some fun. I hope at least this can explain to people why I legit will spend hours trying to make a character look as good as possible, and to any game devs that have this in their game, I truly appreciate it when you give us more options to make our little creations, because with it, it allows the player to become more immersed in your world and enjoy the game even more. Also, because if you make the player spend more than 2 hours here, they can't refund the game on Steam.
Bruh.
Trojan, RamZaes, Magnum, Chic.